Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 on the RM125 project. If you'd watched the last video, you'd seen that we had discovered a couple interesting things about this bike that would probably keep it from running. However, we do have good compression. We got fuel going in there, and we have spark. So still doesn't want to fire. So we kind of narrowed it down to something electrical. And I had ordered a CDI that should be on its way. I have it unhooked right now. So it's either the CDI or the coil, I'm thinking. Probably the CDI, but not 100% sure. Like I said, we got spark. I just kind of have indication that it's sparking at the wrong time. We had evidence of a backfire that happened that blew the reed valve apart from here back through the carb, and we found it sitting at the bottom of the airbox. So that's one indication there that it backfired because of timing. This was all checked out okay. We got the made sure that the woodruff key was not sheared off. So this all checks out okay. We got some resistance readings on there per the manual, and everything checks out okay for the stator, the pickup, and all that stuff. So kind of narrowed it down to the CDI, which I did find, like I said. I'm still waiting for it to show up. So in the meantime, though, I'm going to yank this carburetor back off. And I got the boot that came in for this to replace this ripped up one is in. So I'm going to take that off, put the new one on, probably yank the jets out of this again, try to put it back into the stock cane carb, which I have over here. Ended up finding out that the needle that was in there is bent. You can see how bent that is. So I'm going to see if I could use the slide out of that one with the needle and try to use it in this carb here, which is the stock carb. And I have to move the air screw over because this is missing the air screw on the other side here, right there. But everything else checks out okay. Everything looks good. So we're going to try to reuse that. Here's that new boot I was telling you about. Nice and soft. We got wheel bearings that came in. I'm going to put those in. Brake pads. And yeah, we're going to throw all that in until the new CDI comes in. This is the old CDI right here. So this one I did find evidence of the one of the pins having corrosion on it. So that makes me think that this thing probably got zapped. Even though it still sparks, I think it's just at the wrong time. But we'll find out soon enough. So I also got a tire that's going to replace this bald one that's on here. Corey, if you're watching, thanks for hooking me up with this. This was one he had in the shed, and it's a 19-incher. I don't have any 19-inch wheels. This is the first bike I've got with the 19-inch wheels, so I don't have any tires that are 19-inch. Luckily, he had this one, and it's going to work. So we'll throw that on too at some point. And then hopefully while we're doing this video, the new CDI comes in, and I can plug it in, and we can see if that was it. So enough talk, let's get started. Let's start on the back wheel. I'm going to get this off. We're going to get the brake pads replaced and eventually get the tire replaced and the bearings. So you can see how much wiggle there is in this wheel. Not good. Okay, let's see if this Allen bolt wants to come out. All right. Didn't put up a fight at all. Yep, they're just about dead. Look at that. Okay, new brake pads. Look at the difference on those. Look at the meat on there compared to the ones we took off. These are going on next. Put a little dab of anti-seize on these threads. For the next person, it's got to take these off and put brake pads on this thing. Okay, we got that piston spread out enough. I think we're ready for the disc once we get the bearings in the wheel and the tire changed. Okay, I'm going to try to get these bearings out now. I'm just going to pop this. There's a dust seal on the outside of both sides here. And let's see if I can just pop it out this way. Yep. Pretty crusty. Looks like there's a snap ring in there too. Man, that fought me there. Okay, it's going to give me access to hit on that side, but let me check. Make sure they don't got another one on this side under the seal. Yep, there's another one there. So I was hitting the other side, from the other side, and the bearings came out, but the race snapped off in there, so I'm probably going to get a Dremel and maybe cut that and then pop it out. Actually, I should be able to hit that pretty easily now without the spacer in there now. So let me try that some more. Try that right there. There we go. The race is just breaking apart. Look at that. Yeah, put up a good fight. All right, let's start hitting on the other side. Oh yeah, it's gonna fit perfectly in there. Okay, there goes the other bearing. Okay, so it looks like this side gets 2 bearings. Pop these in. Other side gets 1. And then these dust seals go on either end. I'm going to get these bearings in the freezer though, try to shrink them down a little bit. And then I'll apply some heat to this whenever I'm ready to pop them in. And hopefully they slide in a little easier. Okay, fast forward a little bit. We got the bearings frozen right now. Just gonna heat this up real quick and see if that'll help those slip into place a little easier. Okay, we got two going on this side. Get this one at a time here. Okay, got the spacer. Heat this up. Okay, we're now ready to deal with this old tire. It is rock hard, so I'm just gonna put this aside for now and wait till we have a sunny day so I can let it sit out there and soften up before I wrestle it off. But in the meantime, I did figure out the clutch issue with all this extra play. It ended up being that I guess there's a bracket that's supposed to be right here that holds this in position. And ended up just using this clamp here and crushed it down onto the cable to hold it in place. And now we have working clutch again. So I guess next I'm gonna start putting stuff back together. We already looked at this on the last video. All this stuff works okay. Still waiting for the CDI to come in. So I'm gonna put that cover back on, get the carburetor off, and put the stock one back into place and get it ready for when we can test it out again with the new CDI. All right, so I got the stock carb back in place with the jets back in, the original Kane jets. And got that all sealed up, ready to go. Got the air box, or the air filter back in the air box. So all that stuff's back together, side covers on, power valve covers on the other side. All right, jumped ahead a little bit with the rear wheel. Saved you the drama of watching me try to wrestle this tire on, getting the old one off. It was no fun. That thing was rock hard on there. Let it sit out in the sun for a little while, but it was still put up a pretty good fight. So I just kind of jumped ahead until I got this back on here. This is that very fresh tire that my buddy Corey gave me. So Corey, thanks again if you're watching. So this is it's going to work out perfectly on here. We got this on. We got the brakes on. I did a little sanding on the disc here because it was some rust. And it's not really eaten in too much from the previous brake pads, which were worn down to pretty much just metal on metal. I think I got it right before it got real bad, but you can't even feel any kind of any ridge in here or anything. So I think we're good. And yeah, it's all working good now. Spinning that. Brakes are grabbing nice. And got fresh pads on the back, as you can see. No play in the wheel bearings at all. That's all tight. Ended up having to heat these up, the chain adjuster bolts, because as you know, with aluminum and then steel, they can get galled up in there pretty good, and it was really bad. So I applied some heat, put some anti-seize on there. Those both move nice and free now, and you can actually adjust the chain. So, I've been tracking the CDI box. It's supposed to be coming in here today or tomorrow. So by the time I get the front brakes done on this thing, I should see that, and we can plug it in, try to give it a few kicks, and see if we get any signs of life here. We'll start by removing this cover here. Looks like we got two 8mm here holding it on. Get that out of the way. Seeing that the wheel bearings are fine and the tire's in good shape, I don't have to change a tube or anything. I'm just going to take the caliper off the fork right here and swap the pads out and just kind of inspect it that way instead of ripping it all apart. Yeah, it actually came loose without having to use any persuasion on there. Get an Allen key for this. In decent shape still. Pads, on the other hand, still had a wee little bit of life on there on the very end of its life, it looks like, but at least it wasn't metal on metal. Pads going in. A little dab of anti-seize on there. Throw the guard back on. So this here. Okay, we got good working front brakes too. I'm gonna do a quick oil change here for the crankcase. Might as well get that out of there while we're waiting. Looks like it's pretty clean oil. Yeah, it looks like brand new oil, geez. Better to be safe than sorry. Okay, I got 700 milliliters of fresh oil going back in. I was thinking on changing the coolant too, but when I peeked in here a little earlier, this looks like it's pretty clean still, and it's topped off. So probably gonna hold off. And you can see it's above the fins, and it looks like it's pretty clean. So we're gonna worry about getting it started first, but I'm not gonna change that out just because that looks pretty new. In case anybody's wondering. And yes, I'm sure you've seen how bowed this is. Surprisingly, it's not leaking though, but it definitely took a hit. So no leaks, unbelievably. All right, guys, the CDI finally showed up. I'm gonna get this cleaned up a little bit, put some dielectric grease on these connectors. We're gonna plug it into the bike here, put a little gas down the carburetor, and we're gonna kick it over and see what happens. So I'm gonna throw this on with the stock coil, just do one part at a time, and see if we get lucky here. So put some grease in these plugs. We'll run into that corrosion possibility down the road. So, do the same on the connectors for the coil and the kill switch. Do the coil side here. Yeah. That would be a huge weight off my mind if this works. If it's just the CDI. Crossing my fingers here. Just gonna route this up front for now. Let that kind of hang there, and let's get some gas in there next. Okay, I got some fresh 32-to-1 mixed up. This turned on, make sure we don't got any leaks with the carb. Okay, so far so good, nothing's leaking on the ground. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna give it some kicks here while it's up on the stand, just to see if I can get it to cough, and hopefully pop to life here. In case you were wondering too, I did get a new plug on here. I don't know if I mentioned that in the opening video, but I have it's the more expensive plug that this bike calls for. I don't have the model here. It's an oddball model number, but it's NGK. It was like a $35 plug that was recommended for this bike because looking it up online, I guess this is known to vibrate to the point where it could shake apart a regular NGK plug, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but that was the bolt, and I guess that's why they suggested this plug. So brand new plug, fresh fuel, and fresh CDI. So let's see what happens here. Okay, let's see what happens here. Got the choke on, fuel's on, everything's plugged in. Three kicks, brand new CDI. That was it. Wow. Title too. She needs warmed up. I can't believe that. That's a huge weight off my mind. Another Suzuki with a bum CDI. This is like the third one that I've had. Man, I got to keep that in mind next time I buy a Suzuki that doesn't want to start. Always check that CDI first. Man, that's a huge weight off my mind because, like I said, I paid about $125, $130 for that CDI. And you know, if that didn't work, I would have been out that money. Basically, I was going to try to resell it if it didn't work. But wow, so that was 3 kicks. I got the choke on, stock carb, and it actually idled a little bit. I can't believe that. I can't let it run too long in the house here. I got all the windows and doors closed up. I got AC on. So let me put some body panels on this thing and try to get it outside and maybe let it run a little longer. All right, we got it outside. I got a full tank of gas in there, 32-to-1. And we're going to get it started up again, let it run, warm up. And we're going to maybe take it for a ride. We'll see how it goes here. clutch plates sticking a little bit. They started coming apart there. The upper gears, third and fourth, it wasn't grabbing like it was in first and second. So just got to work them out. But man, it ran good. All right, guys, I can't resist. I'm going to go for a little ride up and down the road. Definitely needs some fine tuning, and we'll see if we can get those clutch plates to break up a little bit. Can't get it to idle too well, but we're just going to go up and down the road a couple times and wring it out a little bit, and hopefully nobody calls the police. Starts up easy. Whoops. See, it's still grabbing first. Plates are sticking there. Let's see if we can get it to break up. Brakes are working good. Seems to shift okay. Okay, that's enough for now. Okay, I had to cut that one short. That's the kind of riding that gets the police called around here. So I wanted to get it back home, but ran good through the gears a little. You know, I could kind of feel it slipping a little bit there, but it pulls strong. Yeah, I'm gonna have to open up that clutch side at some point. Probably replace the springs and the plates. Probably do something with that cable too. Even though I fixed it, it's still kind of a little wonky. It doesn't feel right. So I'm very happy with the way this runs after you know, just replacing the CDI basically. And you know, cleaning up the other parts, and it needed new reed valves too, so it's good that we saw that. And it's one step closer to getting in the woods. I have headset bearings for the steering coming in yet, and like I said, I'll tear into the clutch side. Probably do that in the next video, and get that straightened out, and then we'll try to get it in the woods. If you got an old Suzuki that sparks but doesn't want to run, check that CDI, because this, like I said, this is the third one that I've run into. Dating back to the 80s, that DR250, little DS100, and this. So CDI was the culprit. Keep that in mind if you're working on one of these. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave me some comments. It goes a long way and help the channel as always. See you in the next one.